So which one? What do we got first? Let's do it. So we'll move this out of the way just a little bit.
All right, you guys can just pass it around and stab your pick, and then we'll all chow down and talk.
Sorry, go ahead. Grab one.
They actually have this flavor defect too on Wings Wednesday.
Oh, so you got to tell me, is this close to Wing Wednesday?
Yeah.
So the airmen wanted to do, we didn't do Wing Wednesday at the DFAC a while ago.
All right, pick your favorite.
Airmen across the base asked for it, and so the chow hall came in and said, you know what, I think we can do that.
Yeah.
And they kept it as a standard, and we told them, even though we've got Wingstop opening, Wing Wednesday does not go away.
Yeah.
Because this is a different type of wings, it's a different level of wings, it's a different price point, especially if you're at the chow hall. It's free.
So are you all regulars on Wing Wednesdays?
I stopped for a while because it was a lot of wings for me. Every week, wings, I was like...
Is there such a thing as too many wings?
It can be. Yeah.
All right. We've been here how many times?
So this is number 3.
It's been open for
it opened today.
meals, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so the garlic parmesan, try it out. It shouldn't be spicy. If this is hurting you, you're gonna have a problem. It wasn't spicy.
No.
Not spicy, but pretty tasty.
Yeah. I like it.
I mean, I'm
This
a
is my
garlic
favorite
fan.
one.
You like? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
This is my favorite one.
Hey, what dippers we have going on here, guys?
I got blue cheese on.
Okay.
Blue cheese.
You got a little bit of wing already on your nose.
that's all right.
No, the other side. There you go. Just making sure we're all good.
Got ranch.
You got ranch.
I think it's ranch.
You got ranch. I'm a blue cheese guy. This is good.
Not bad at all.
Legit.
Not bad.
It's easy.
Hey, so literally, this is your first day at Edwards.
Yeah.
Out of OTS. You did OTS. You didn't do tech school yet.
Not yet.
And you're here on day 1, and you got roped into hanging out with the command chief and the commander.
Yeah.
That's
It's fun.
Yeah, and you get a meal of wings. See, we're feeding you on your first day.
Off to a
That's
good
how
start.
we care for airmen and their families around here. Always priority number 1.
On
right,
day
Chief?
1.
On day 1.
Day 2, you're on your own.
Yeah.
I was worried about starting off super high and then coming down low.
No, I mean the reality is we got great stuff going on, right? I mean it's the holiday season, and hopefully we've got a plan to take care of, especially our new airmen and their families, making sure that you feel like you're part of the team, and we're caring for you, and that's always our number 1 priority is genuine care and concern for airmen and their families.
That's really good to hear.
We just came from an event for all our deployed spouses, or excuse me, all our deployed members, every one of their families, once a month. We put them together, and we do, we cook dinner, we eat, we hang out, so there's a lot of kids there. So Santa will visit here in a little while, they'll all get presents, tons of turkey and ham and all kinds of food and games and crafts, and just something to get the spouses together, because they're all their spouses are deployed at the same time, so they can go and they can hang out, and if they haven't met anybody on base, they can meet them, and so the kids can play. We've done one that was just straight Nerf gun wars. We all did a Nerf gun fight for a couple hours. In the summer, we do it at the pool, and then it changes up kind of the theme every single
There's
time.
like a pumpkin patch one. We were giving out gift cards from the Antelope Valley Mall today to all of the deployed spouses and all their kids. It was a great event. And then we get to roll and do wings.
Yep, it's fun.
Right on.
So what we got next?
We have lemon pepper.
Lemon pepper. So again,
Also at the chow hall.
okay, but how did that garlic parmesan compare to the chow hall?
This one actually is a little bit more garlicky, so I would say I like this one better.
So it held up to the name?
Yeah.
Grab one. Yes, sir.
Just for the record, LT and I, we've got knives instead of forks.
I know.
We were so popular here on day 1 at Wingstop, but they ran out of forks.
They ran out of ice too for a little while.
Yeah, all right.
But I think they're filling that. They said it was one of the top Wingstop openings. So
Oh wow.
Yeah, we'll get the stats. We'll share it with
it's the only one
everybody.
on a DoD base.
Yeah.
So you guys know how it is. We don't have a lot of stuff close by, and so having this right here and open 10 o'clock.
10 to 10 every day,
So now we
7
got
days a
night
week.
options for our evening guys and guys working late shift and swings. So that'll be good. So let's see.
So lemon pepper. So no real spice, but it's got a taste.
Yeah.
It's got a good lemon taste. I'm a big fan of the previous one. I love garlic, but
Marvin, you orders ready?
I'm looking forward to the spicy wings. I'm
Marvin?
a spice guy.
are you gonna get knocked out by Atomic?
I hope I don't.
You okay? How about you guys? You think you got it?
mine, right?
Oh yes, yeah, that's. Oh man, the highest I've got was mango
Javier, you
habanero.
orders
So that's number 2
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
top.
that's not
So
bad.
you got a chance of making it.
I don't know. I have no idea.
All right, no, it's all
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had a Wingstop earlier today actually.
Good for you.
Lunch.
Akeem, you orders ready?
Good for you.
Akeem?
You can't have enough.
No,
Yep.
exactly right.
And you already went to the gym, right?
Sorry.
Are you going to the gym?
So you said you went to the gym, right?
Yeah.
You went to
see,
the
so you're
gym.
Good. You earned it.
Yeah.
You would go to the gym?
Nope.
Chief?
This morning.
You did?
Every
All
morning.
right, I didn't, Chief.
Every morning, sir.
I'm gonna pay for it.
You'll be all right.
Yeah. And it was nice too earlier at the gym because there was a bunch of squadrons in their PT, so it was nice to see them out there doing their thing.
Right on.
Yeah, makes you want to.
So what'd you do when you went to the gym? What'd you do?
Just ran on the track.
Okay.
Yeah, with everybody else, that's what everybody was doing. So
Okay.
yeah, it's a little bit better because every time I do that, it's just me or like a couple of people. But when there's like a whole squadron of them running, it makes you want to like go fast.
Oh yeah, you got to compete.
Yeah, compete. Especially if you know that person on your left or right, just trying to race them.
Yeah, I can feel bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're a maintainer.
Yes.
All right. So F-16 AMU. All right. What specifically do you do?
So, I mean, I'm just a crew chief.
Not
Don't
just
say
a-
just a crew chief.
Oh,
Come
okay,
on.
yeah.
I'm a crew chief.
You're gonna hear about that one when this airs. You're gonna hear about that one.
I hear a lot.
All right.
It's really hard right now. I'm just learning. I'm shadowing a bunch of people, and I'm learning how to do launch and recovery of the 16s.
Okay.
So, I mean, the past week has been probably the most action that I got. The first month or so is just like in processing. So, I mean, the way that I kind of see it right now is like, it's really easy for me to get comfortable. And like everyone is nice. They're fun. You know, I like the people.
Good.
And that makes the work a lot easier. So it's hard to say exactly what I'm doing right now. I would say right now I'm just learning.
You're just upgrading.
Yes.
It's okay. You're learning. And we've
Yeah.
got F-16s of every variety here. We're doing tests on them. We're using them for chase. We're using them for targets. We're using them for training. And they're getting worked a lot out here.
I think the other AMUs would argue, but it's probably the busiest AMU just because they fly for everything.
They do.
Every
They
single
do.
thing
Of
we're doing.
foreign F-16s, US F-16s, all blocks.
Yep.
And if you think that sometime, like in 6 months or a year, you're going to go, you know what, I'm done. I don't need to learn anything, then you're messing up somewhere. Because that's, the general and I were hanging out at finance today learning how to move money around for GBC purchases, and I've never done that before, so we're learning new things. And so that's just part of this kind of career, learning new things all the time. And it's the thing that keeps me from getting bored.
Yeah.
So if you like learning,
The thing that I hear here about here is all the orange wire.
Oh, yeah?
All the F-16s, and I mean it's pretty cool learning about all the extra stuff.
Yeah, you got
Every aircraft is different
Yep.
because we gather data to make sure that we're rolling in capability to the warfighter.
And it's the
pretty
one,
unique.
only one of a kind version of that aircraft, that block with this modification. It's the only
Right.
one that exists because we built it just for this test. And it might last for a week, it might last for a year until that test is over, and then we do something else. So
All right,
you get to
guys,
learn all
let's roll in the next variety.
What's next?
Carlo, what do we got? Okay.
Which kind of barbecue?
Hickory smoke.
Okay.
Again, I don't think this is going to be spicy, guys. This is just getting us ready, but,
Yeah, this is
but hopefully a good
It's a slow
taste.
climb.
Uh-huh. I think it accelerates towards the end.
The hickory
Yep.
barbecue.
Order for Greg.
It's awesome.
So LT, as you're eating, you can think a little bit about this one, but I'm going to get your opinion on what you heard about Edwards before you got here. I would love to chat a little bit about what your perspective was before you ended up here in our ramp.
So I know when I mentioned it to people, I'm like, hey, it's close to Los Angeles. I had one fellow say, whoa, it's not close. It's not Los Angeles.
So it's 100 miles,
Yeah.
but that could be a long time depending on traffic.
But hey, nobody usually knows where Bakersfield is, but people know LA. So
Yep.
that's why I like to reference
Okay.
LA.
Did you hear anything about what we did on this base?
No, actually, I had to Google it myself. It's a testing base. I found that out, but I didn't know too much. I don't know too many people in the Air Force, so that's on me. But it was a big experience, I guess, coming out here, finding out what we actually do. What we do here.
So I can tell you, I got orders here almost a year ago, and I've been in the Air Force for a long time and know plenty of people, and they laughed at me. But they did that. And they said the same thing when I was going to Beale, because that was my last base. But when I got orders for Edwards, everybody laughed and they said, oh, that sucks, I'm sorry. And I've had fun at every single base I've ever been to, so I can find, there's annoyances everywhere. Even there were some annoyances in Ramstein, there were annoyances in Kadena, but they've all been fun if you focus on the really good things that you like. And then I get here and go, oh my gosh, it's going to take you a little bit longer, I think, to train up than it would maybe one of your counterparts at an F-16 unit somewhere else, but you're going to know every single type of F-16. So it's going to take you longer, but you're going to have more breadth. you're going to understand, because there's things going on here that most of the bases won't get for 5 more years. And there's going to be weapons that you're going to mess with that no one else is touching for 5 years, because we're going to figure out what works, and then we'll get it out to the rest of the force. So you're going to be much better prepared, I think, once you bring.
And you probably won't be surprised by this, but we're still learning every day some aspects of what we do here at Edwards, and our minds are blown. We talked about hanging out with finance today, but we'll go out and spend time with airmen and really just be blown away by what they're doing and the impact of what they're doing and what that does for the warfighter.
So we'll do the next one, but I want a big Air Force question. Something from
Oh yeah, you
OTS
guys
or
got to think of something to stump us on, all right? What do we got, Carlo? Mild. We haven't even gotten a mild yet, guys.
I don't really think this is a big Air Force, but I heard that there's a TEDx talk or a TED Talk here recently.
Did somebody set you up for that?
Sorry?
Did somebody set you up for that, or are you serious?
No, I'm serious.
Oh, all right. Well, you were correct.
Yep.
Was it a month ago?
It was a month ago.
Yeah, November, before Thanksgiving, we did the very first TEDx event here. And so we had 4 speakers. One of them was a pilot for Virgin, and previous test pilot here. And she talked about Virgin and their trying to get people into space as a normal thing and get satellites into space in a cheap way. All the things that they're testing and all their processes for how they're, the Air Force talks about innovation, how they're innovating and how they're learning and how they're safely trying these first of kind events and getting them up in the air safely. And first of kind, everything they're doing, a company trying to get people into space is just really cool. And we got to do it in the BAF, our anechoic chambers. So if you guys haven't been there, it's probably one of the coolest places I think we have on this base.
So it's this massive hangar where you can hang aircraft from the ceiling and do electronic signals testing so that none of those signals leak out to the outside world and none of the signals from the outside world leak in. So you've got a pristine environment to do testing. We're doing defensive systems in an F-15 here shortly after the new year, and they're using a variety of signals in that facility, and it's amazing. By the way,
hang it.
Chief was a speaker as one of those 4, and he killed it. Killed it. All right, what do you guys think of mild?
Extra spicy.
Right. By the way, you can watch that TEDx talk online. So if you go to our website, you go to our social media sites at Edwards, you can watch all of those speeches, all those talks. They were great.
Yeah, I usually keep close to TED. So when I heard about that, I really wanted to go, but unfortunately I wasn't.
No, so it was hard. We were only allowed to have, I think we had 100 people there. It was a really small event because there's rules, but that's why we videotaped or we recorded it to make sure that everybody could see it. And so now it's there, which is easier, so you can watch it in chunks. The thing that you did miss out on is just being in the BAF, because he's talking about a F-15. You can hang the F-15 from the ceiling, hoist it up there, and now you can actually run a lot of its components and make sure it's running like it's supposed to, and it does all the countermeasures, all the electronic side of things, does exactly what it's supposed to in that environment. So that's just one of the cool.
You know whose idea it was? It was an NCO in the maintenance group who came up with the idea of having a TED Talk, and he organized it and executed it, and it was brilliant. Sergeant Meyer.
Even more amazing. So I had just done a TED Talk. When he came up with it, I'd done one on the East Coast in May. And it was a pain. I mean, it was a lot of fun to do. But I talked to the organizer, and she was telling me, I do not want to do this again. This was so painful. Just the logistics and trying to get it all done. And she talked about how it took her 6 months to even get approval from TED. And so he came to me about 2 weeks later, and he said, hey, I think I want to do a TED Talk. I was like, that's awesome, man. I mean, good luck. Please let me know if you need help. But just be ready. You're in for a rough road, like just trying to get approval. And he said, no, I already got approval. He was on it.
He was a bulldog, and man, it was a world-class event, all because an NCO had a great idea and made it happen.
Yeah, we probably could have done it 2 or 3 months earlier, but he wanted to do it in a very specific place, and we had to make sure security and all the things with putting it in our Benefield anechoic were correct. But it was the right thing, because we got to put a really cool NASA F-16, again, a different F-16, so the XL. Have you heard of that one?
Yes.
Okay, so we had the F-16 XL behind us. Only 2 of that jet ever made.
Correct.
And so we had one of them. But anyway, all these things lined up. So it's just a cool event to do on base. And then hopefully we do another one after our air show, or maybe in the next year or so, and start bringing more people out to the base.
Let's talk about air show after we get another round. What do we got, Carlo? All right.
So I think these are 2 spice. I don't know what the little pepper symbol.
All right.
So
A
they're
little
number 2.
spicier than mild.
Yep.
They look a little spicier than
Yeah,
mild.
they got a little something on them. There you go, sir.
No worries.
Order for Nayeli. Nayeli, your order's ready.
I don't know what she said.
Ellie?
Oh, 3 peppers. Okay, you were doing hand signs. I don't know. What
How high does it go?
This one's 3, they go up to 5.
Order for Nayeli.
5's the highest. All right.
No, just pepper. Like black pepper.
It's good. Got a good taste.
Still, if I'm gonna go no spice, garlic parmesan. That's it.
Something about rub though. Rubs are good. I mean the sauce is good too, but
Yeah.
that rub is tasty.
You can't cover it up. You can make a bad rib and throw the sauce on it and cover it up.
Yeah.
But if you do it with a rub, it's either gonna be good or bad. You're not hiding.
So Chief, you mentioned air show. So you guys are in luck. You probably have heard that we're going to get back into the air show business starting in 2020.
Yep.
The last air show we had on base was in 2009. And we took a long hiatus, but it's time to get back. We do it because it inspires people. We do it because it educates people. And really, we do it so that we market and brand this place, the Aerospace Valley. If you're anywhere in the world and you want to come work on the cutting edge, coolest technology on the planet, this is where you need to come.
Why did they stray away from it?
Yeah, so I think it was partly budget, right? I mean, it costs a lot of money, and that money comes out of your own budget. Typically, the Air Force doesn't give you special money for air shows, or if they do, they don't give you much. So they cost about $2 million.
It's a
air
lot of
shows
work.
do, and it's a lot of work,
So
and
we've
it's
had a team
manpower.
planning for how many? 6 months already, and that's for next fall. So we're still 10 months out from our air show. 9 months out, and they're hot and heavy in the planning. So there's a ton of work. They're going to all the neighborhood air shows to try to get lessons learned and figure it out. It's just we're going to 500,000 people probably on this base. So that's a lot. We don't get that many every day, but 500,000. How do you do logistics and security and just parking and food and bathrooms and all those things? It's just a lot to do. We'll do it. It'll be awesome, but it's going to be some work.
Well, but what I like about it is you guys can invite your friends and your family who aren't on the base. They can come and see what you do. Right? How cool is that to showcase what you do and what you're a part of here at Edwards?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the air show because growing up in Hawaii, Hickam and Pearl Harbor Hickam opens up the base once in a while for the Blue Angels. So it's going to be interesting for me to be a part of that air show, not just watching the air show. So yeah.
Oh, there'll be definitely an opportunity for everybody to be a part of it.
Yep.
The good thing is you're usually a part of it, so it's 2 days, and so you usually switch off. So you have one day where you enjoy the air show, and then the other day you usually kind of help out with something. Running a stand,
Order for
security,
David.
making sure people don't get
David,
lost,
your order's ready.
all those things. So it'll be a good time.
And I'll tell you, I love watching what's going on in the air, but I love watching the faces of people watching what goes on in the air, right? It's just priceless to see kids and adults just be enamored with what we get used to every single day here.
It's gonna be like the new Top Gun. Did you see the preview this morning?
I did, and I saw that the trailer's out.
Yeah,
I'm
the trailer
gonna
came
go
out
watch
this
it.
morning.
Yeah.
Yep.
As soon as I
Order for Robert.
It looks pretty good.
Robert.
That's what we need to do. We should just watch Top Gun. We should watch trailers and.
So you guys probably weren't even born when Top Gun came out originally.
wasn't.
1986, I think.
Definitely was
Yeah, so I was in junior high, and man, I was inspired by that movie.
Yeah. Is there any way that that movie can be premiered here on base?
You know what?
Any
Let's work
chances?
on it. Now we're Air Force, they're Navy. I don't know, but we got sailors here.
Yeah.
They're doing F-35 testing on our ramp all the time. Maybe we
We've
can
had a
pull
couple
some
other
strings.
premieres.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's been good.
yeah. We had Captain Marvel a couple months ago. Yep, they
Last
were out
Full
here.
Measure. That isn't even out yet.
And then what do you call that with Ryan Gosling?
Uh-oh.
First Man.
First
Oh,
Man.
First Man.
Yeah, there
Yep.
you go.
Yep.
Yep. So filmed here, all the way back to Iron Man, Transformers.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff has been filmed here.
Yeah, first time I heard Edwards was Iron Man 2.
All right, on.
Yeah.
All right.
When War Machine was flying in the fly line, everybody gathered up
Yep.
on him.
That was
so-
1600.
You guys DC or Marvel guys, or do you not care?
Marvel.
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 All right, everyone Marvel.
Yeah.
I'm Marvel because Captain Marvel, right? I mean, I don't really have a dog in the fight, but she's a test pilot.
She's the only
they
test
filmed
pilot.
here, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the next one?
Oh wow.
I tried this last time. I can't remember though. Those are big ones.
I'll tell you, that last one had a really good taste.
You're
I don't
good.
know. You guys getting
Yeah, it was good.
too spicy yet?
No, no.
You guys handling it?
I'm good.
All right.
I'm all right.
Order for Jerome.
Okay.
Jerome.
3 and then 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
Oops, sorry, I didn't
No, you're good.
let you pick first. Thank you, Carlo.
Order for
I'm a
Omar.
fan. It's not spicy, but I like that one.
It's got a little bit of kick, and man, that is tasty.
I like the flavor of this one.
You like that one?
Yeah.
This is also one of the things that I got when they first opened it.
You're not eating all your wings, guys. What's the deal?
I'll finish it later.
I want to taste all of them before I get full.
Yeah.
I might have that last. Can I have another one of those last ones? This one's good. Anyone else want? There's a big chunking one in there.
Didn't you say you had all 3 meals today at Wingstop?
No. So I was here earlier.
Okay.
I didn't eat any wings today.
We had it
but
twice last week.
Oh,
They had a soft opening so they could prepare kind of their processes to make sure they were full up today when it was going to be packed, which it was.
So we brought in people. It was free for all the airmen, but we could only limit it. So we had 50 airmen come in, and they got to kind of test everything out to make sure the cooks knew what they were doing. Everybody was ready, while everything was kind of slow. And then if they messed up, they could learn from it, do it the next day, and then figure out where they're going to need to be ready for today. I think today they're going to learn a lot more because it's just been packed the entire day. And then they'll be better tomorrow.
I heard the timing was pretty good today.
No, even
they
these.
were. Yeah, they took a little bit extra from what their standard is of time, but I think they were pretty close.
We got 50 and there's a line. We
Yeah.
got 10 minutes maybe? It wasn't long.
And then I heard you got the app where you can order and place an order online, or you can call in. So that'd be like.
Yeah, so you show up and you pick it up and go. Some people asked about delivery. We don't have delivery, but we're working on getting DoorDash or something like that on base so that we can get food delivered.
So what I really want to do is, have you seen Postmates? How they have you seen the little robots? They have these Postmate robots where it's got a hot container like you would for a pizza. They throw all the wings in there, and then this robot drives itself to the dorms. You come to it, scan it with your phone. The robot smiles at you. It opens up. You grab your stuff, then it drives back. So
And that's operational somewhere
it is San Francisco.
on a base or not?
No bases.
Okay.
Just
Let's
like
do it.
Wingstop.
Let's
Nobody's
do
on
it.
a base. Before it didn't make sense because we'd drain a battery trying to get from the club to the dorms or from here to the base housing. So it would only work as a test between here in the dorms or here and our building, the cops, all the offices in this general area. You don't want it on a busy road either. So you need it somewhere where it's going to be safe. But I think it'd just be cool to see a robot driving around with my wings. We'll see.
We're gonna get scooters on base pretty soon, so folks can get around via scooters. That was a great initiative Chief came up with.
And one of them will be here. So there'll be a scooter station here, a scooter station at the dorms, and a scooter station at the BX and commissary.
So will non-dorm residents be able to use those?
Yep,
Absolutely,
everybody
yes.
can.
Oh,
The only
okay.
thing
Yeah,
is
yeah.
so if you're brand new, like you just showed up, if you were living in the dorms, we would give you a certain amount of free rides. So you'd either get 1 week or 15 free rides or however the math turns out. Because we want you to show up. Let's say you don't have any friends yet, you don't have a car, you can jump on the scooter, get your stuff at the BX in the commissary, get some food, maybe get to work, unless you're at medical, but most of the base you can get to work. And then after a little while, you gotta either make a friend or buy a car, one or the other, or buy a bike. And also
Or just use the scooters, but have to pay for them.
Yeah. Well, there's also going to be a few stations where the scooter stands, you just charge them. They're solar powered. So we've got a few airmen that have their own scooters, and they could actually lock them up in the stand and then charge them in the stand. And since they're solar powered, there's no dilemma with you charging them with our power. And so we've got a few, and I think if we had those stands here, you'd have a few more who wanted it too. So we'll see. And if not, we got some nice looking bike stands.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of scooters here in front of Wingstop, probably in front of the chow hall.
Yep.
Don't scooter drunk.
No.
All right, you promise me you won't?
No, sir.
All right, good. All right, what do we got next?
Original hot.
All right. Still 3, Carlo?
They're brighter.
All right. Hey, so what big questions you guys have? Do you guys have anything really juicy and tough that you can stump Chief on?
How do we feel about the Space Force?
Oh, that's a great question.
wow.
So
That's
I don't know. I'll give.
while.
I think it's a cool idea. So I'm not a
Order for Alonso.
space guy in the sense that I've been a space operator for 20 years. So I mean, I don't have that breadth of experience or even that depth in the space world. And excuse me, I've talked to people who think it's a great idea. The interesting thing is they came out last week, or I think it was last week, and said we can do a Space Force, everything's good, but no new billets or manpower for it, which means you'd have to carve out Air Force billets, or you'd have to carve out billets that already exist. And I have no idea what the senior leaders are thinking through on that. You know, there's pros and cons, I think, to carving them out. Do you just leave it as is and keep it as a a piece close to the Air Force and close to Navy, and as the joint force that we have with Spacecom, or do you carve out this entirely new thing? Because then that's a lot. Like now you got to have a whole team that figures out uniforms, and you have to have a team that figures out personnel and finance and all these other things, or do you just use what we already have?
Right.
So at some point you might have to switch. I don't know, but there's a bill that comes with that, and so it depends on how serious they want it. For that bill.
And not to get too deep, but if you read the 2018 National Defense Strategy, I hope you guys are, and you guys do. But it talks a lot about how important it is to focus on the contested environments that come with your peer fight. And undoubtedly, space is a contested environment, right? It's not a docile environment. There are threats up there are threats from here to there are threats from there to here. In order to do that right, our leaders have decided that we need a separate force that's focused on that contested domain, and so I'm excited to see how it plays out. There's a lot of synergies between what we do in the Air Force and what the Space Force will do, and we just need to make sure that we integrate well with them so we don't sever any good work that's being done now between air and space.
Well, and even before that, we'd already been tasked to start building test pilot school for space. So what does a space test pilot look like, and what does a cyber test pilot look like? And so we take our test pilot school that's famed for world-class risk management and just test fundamentals. They just happen to do it in their domain. And can we do those same things in space? And we can, because we've sent test pilots to Spacecom, and we have test pilots in the cyber world, and they're using all these fundamental principles that they learned here and just applying it. But now we're going to take a space operator that's 15 years in, and then teach them test fundamentals, and then they'll go back to be a space test pilot or that cyber test pilot. And so now it's all these domains are starting to merge. So that's pretty neat too.
Yeah. So we got to get it right, and I know our leaders are working hard to make sure we get it right, and we're getting it right the best we can here at Edwards. Shaping and molding the capability and test and evaluation to make sure that what we do here is translated to space.
So what do you guys think of that one?
It's starting to get up a little bit for me.
It's always good, but that last one was so tasty. I mean, this one was good.
Which one, the Korean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that
it was
was good.
just so good. And this is more traditional, but it's not hot yet, but it's getting there.
Order for Grace.
What do we got next?
Cajun.
Okay, so something different.
This is gonna be a
Oh, this has
different
got
kind of
some
spice.
pepper and some red.
That's a lot.
Oh yeah.
Third from the top, guys. We're almost there. What number is this? Is this a 3 or a 4? We got a 4.
Okay.
Oh, I can smell that one.
See, I'm already feeling it. I'm used to that deep fat food at Maxwell.
Uh-huh.
No spicy food.
So how long was your training at Maxwell?
It was 8.5 weeks.
Okay. All right.
What was were there weren't any prior service in your class, right?
Oh, most of them were prior.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was
A
the
little
major?
over
What were the major things they were talking about or concerned with?
A lot of it was obviously making sure you're a good leader, making sure you're able to care for your airmen, doing a good job doing that, because they run the show,
And we've got a lot of, so here's an example for you. Take this away, put it in the bank.
Hello,
We've got
Edward.
almost every technology in the United States Air Force here in our ramp. And all of that is great and all of that is important. But if the airmen aren't cared for and their families aren't cared for, we're not going to be able to use that to good effect in the United States Air Force. And so always focus on making sure those airmen and their families, those who are getting the job done, are cared for, and the rest will take care of itself. Man, this is good. It's getting
good.
spicy.
It is spicy.
What do you think?
This one's a different kind of taste.
It's got that
I like
pepper
it
on
though.
it. Okay.
So they make, it's up there, Cajun fried corn. They have a little corn dish here where it's slices of corn on the cob, and it's got this rub on it. Oh, it's so tasty. Check it out
If
next
you like
time you're
corn, I just eat fries.
Oh man, it's gonna start to get there.
there. We're third from the top.
I don't know if you guys seen this, but I saw it on Facebook that there's a new Air Force PT uniform in place. Have you guys heard anything about that?
Is that true to you?
It's not in place. So
Oh, yeah, there's a picture of it.
Chief Reyes, I'm gonna mess his name up. So there's a command chief for APIS. And so, well, there's two. There's the command chief for APs who sees a lot of this stuff. There's also one of our sister centers in AFMC is LCMC, and so they're a weird command. They got all kinds of weird stuff.
You just call them weird, Chief?
They're unique, sir.
All right, there we go. That's better.
They're a unique command. But they just have their hands in everything. So they have a whole team, and their job is to make new uniforms. And so the command chief out there, Troy Croft, and so he goes out and he can see all these new uniforms. And you don't just make a uniform and then implement it. You say, okay, we think we need to make a better PT. And they'll make 20 different versions, 20 different styles, different materials, different cuts, and then test it and have people go out and wear a shirt and test that out. And did it work in hot weather? Did it work in cold weather? And to make sure that it's going to meet our needs. And so there is a new prototype. Okay. By the way, there's always new prototypes. The big thing they're doing right now is female uniforms. And so they're really pushing hard on that, but I did see the PT uniforms that they have that they're working on, and so that's one of the prototypes. The fact that they're allowed to show it means it's further along than just an idea in someone's head. They're actually trying to do it, and we could always use better looking fabrics and some lighter stuff and some stuff that the athletic industry has gone so far as far as all the stuff you can get on over the counter, and so we need to get as much of that as possible, so we can do the same thing and then have it be Air Force specific. So not official, it hasn't been approved, but it's closer than, let's say, some of the other things, some of the other changes. So I don't know, I'd be guessing, but it could be, we'll hear more probably in the next 6 months to a year on whether they're planning on doing it. And then there'll be a phase in, so all your old stuff, you can wear that. If you want to buy it, it's like this. If you wanted to get this, you could use it. If you didn't and you wanted to wait, you're going to have a year or two before you have to do it. So you're not going to have to use your whole clothing allowance just to buy your uniforms. Not right away, at least.
By the way, there's some prototypes out there for female flight uniforms or flight gear, and we're testing it here because that's what we do, test and evaluation. And I'm pretty proud of our team with really taking a hard look at what our female aviators need in the cockpit.
Again, just testing stuff. And so you got to try it, and that's the best part. You try it tons of different ways. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, no big deal. You throw it away and you try again. And you keep doing that, whether it's with aircraft, with weapons, with or with uniforms.
Or trying out different types of wings, right? You try something, you don't like it, jettison and try something different.
Just don't order it again. What's next?
Mango habanero.
So this is number 2 from the top, guys.
My favorite.
We're getting there. Your favorite, huh?
I think this is gonna taste good. Yeah. I like mango.
We had it last week. It was
Anyone
good.
got any sinuses flowing a little bit?
No, not yet.
No?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You guys got enough drink here if we're really, all right?
Yeah, sorry.
You're not trying to new your ranch.
Haven't
You got a
eaten
little
it.
bit of ranch.
You don't want to mess up that flavor. You don't mess up mango
but I
flavor.
think their blue
with
cheese
ranch.
is so good. Here we go.
I'm not going to mix blue cheese in this. That's gross. But the normal one, sure.
We're going to keep this on the table because I see us circling
Oh, yeah,
back
we'll
to
do
those
this.
2 big chunky ones. It's got a strong, good flavor. I mean, it's spicy.
Oh, yeah, they've all been good so far.
You guys are home
We
free.
got one left.
Oh man.
Is it hitting you?
What?
Is it getting you?
Nope. I'm just interested to see what the last one is.
All
gonna
right.
be.
All right, don't
The
get
good thing
psyched
is
out by it.
You're building up. So if you were to do that one first, it'd be warm. This,
You guys didn't have to sign a waiver, so it can't be that hot at
Yeah,
Atomic, right?
It's not that.
Hey, so
It sits on you, but yeah, I can handle it.
So you guys have been here for a little while. What do you guys say to us? What recommendations do you have of things that we need to do better on this base? You guys have any recommendations for us?
So yeah, one of the biggest things when I first got here was transportation, which has already been taken care of for the scooters.
Okay.
So are the scooters gonna go move further, like the e-bikes that you see in downtown LA?
So before you jump there, we're also looking at maybe an Uber or a Lyft, another way to get around on
Okay.
base. But scooters, I don't know. What else beyond scooters,
So
Chief?
we started with bikes, actually. That was the idea.
Okay.
You can go further, you can go faster, you can carry more weight, so I could carry a big bag of stuff if I wanted to. The problem is so if you go in with the idea, so look at any innovation thing you're going to do, you have to have a problem. Our problem is getting people from point A to point B cheaply and easily. Bikes is an answer. Uber is an answer. Scooters is also an answer. Giving everybody roller skates is another answer, but each one has its own sets of pros and cons. And so we had to look at what was the cheapest entry point
Okay.
to prove that this was worth doing and was still going to be fun. So bikes, e-bikes can cost anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 per bike, whereas I can get a scooter for $300 to $500. So we could test out 10 scooters way faster than we can test out 10 bikes and way cheaper. Now, if we try the scooters and we go, you know what? We're getting people from A to B, but they're not going fast enough, and they need to carry more stuff. Maybe bikes are another answer. But we might have solved our problem with the very, easiest solution or an easy solution. Buying everybody cars would be another solution, but it's an expensive one. And so you always want to try to find the cheapest solution. So if you go in saying, I want e-bikes, it might not work, it'll be fun, but it's not going to solve a problem. You identify a problem first, and then you spend money and manpower when you need to use it to solve that problem. So there's kind of piggybacked everybody all over. But we think it's going to be one of the cheapest ways to solve it. Everybody likes scooters for the most part, and so I think it's going to be fun. And I hope that having them on base allows me to scale them faster. So instead of having 5 bikes, maybe we're going to start with 17 scooters.
Have you guys ridden them in cities? Have you guys done that?
Yes.
You go down to Hollywood. You're cruising around.
Yep. And if we break them, not a big deal. I mean, we don't want to break them, but I'm saying it's a lot easier to fix or to change them. Less moving parts than a bike. There's a whole bunch of reasons. And so you really have to look at what is your problem, identify the 20 solutions, and then figure out which one actually solves it. And then money, manpower, time, all of these things. But yeah, we might have to move towards bikes, or maybe it's scooters. Actually, the company they're working with also will have bikes in the next year. And so maybe it's scooters, but there's also 5 bikes that jump on that use those same charging stands as well. And now that we already have the infrastructure, we could add bikes quickly, or we could add more scooters quickly. And so I think once we get the infrastructure in place, it'll be easier to scale and to change.
Or
add a
passing
new
around
spot.
fries. Sorry, Chief.
No, you're good.
That one's hitting me a little bit.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
At the end.
You ready? You ready to?
Oh yeah, let's
master
do
it up?
this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In order for
I thought somebody'd be cheering up, or
I'm about ready to blow my nose, Chief. Is that all right?
you can do what you need to do, sir.
It might be kind of gross on the mic. All right. Look at that. It's like dark sauce.
Oh, you got the ball.
Biggest one. Let's get the one with the most spicy.
Sir.
All right. Oh, look at you. That's a good hefty one, too. Proud of you, LT.
Well, I told him it's his first day. He can't let everybody down on this day.
You know, guys, cheers.
Cheers.
That's a good taste. Don't like it?
I like it's different.
I like that aftertaste.
I need to get used to it. Now it's getting a little
So what do you
bit
think
hotter.
about using your ranch and the blue cheese on that?
You can cool it
Yeah.
down with that. Is it hotter than you thought it would be?
I think we picked some ringers, Chief.
It's
I
a-
think you guys are
I think
good.
it's about
So I think what we got to do next time is we got to do baseline wings, and then we'll bring in our own hot sauces.
Oh wow.
And so we'll get some, because they can't do it. They can't do it. Not everybody's gonna want all the crazy stuff, but we can go all the way up. Like I've done the ghost pepper stuff. That's not fun. That just hurts. But it's funny watching somebody.
I'm doing some blue cheese here, Chief.
You're fine, sir. You already ate your first one, so you're good. But I like it.
there we go.
All right.
Got a little bit of sinus going.
Yep. Got emotion.
Am I starting to turn red or anything? All right, cool.
Now's when you'll ask the best questions.
Okay, I got a question.
Yeah.
So, who produces the best officers? You know, ROTC, the Academy, OTS. Okay, why is it OTS? Why do they produce the best ones?
So actually, I don't know if I can tell a difference, frankly. I mean,
Okay.
the officers that I worked around or worked for, I've seen great ones from all the commissioning sources. I don't know if I've got a difference or a favorite. Chief?
So I can tell you, it's easy to spot the Academy ones because they let you know pretty quickly, maybe 30 seconds.
Is it like a fighter pilot?
Oh, it's bad.
Oh yeah.
It is bad. It'll. By the way, did you know that we used to eat wings at the Academy? Just it comes up, just randomly. But no, I've actually seen some very amazing officers come out of the Academy. I've also seen a couple of not so great ones, but that was the oddity. I will say some of the better ones I've seen as a whole are from OTS, but not OTS as a commissioning source, OTS is prior service. There's a definite change when you have somebody who's enlisted who makes it past staff sergeant or above, meaning they've gone to ALS. So they've gone to ALS, they've been an airman, they've also kind of transitioned to an NCO, even if it's for 6 months, and then they just have a different perspective. They're not any smarter or more knowledgeable on a lot of things. They know what it was like to be an A1C. They know what it's like to be brand new at a base and have a good supervisor and have a bad supervisor. They know good LTs that they've seen and they know bad ones. And so most of them try to be that good LT. Every once in a while you find one that was hurt in some way as an airman by some officer, and now as an officer it's their turn to get back at the world. Again, that's an oddity, but those are the two types I see from OTS and prior enlisted. So especially if they go into the same career field. Even more so, because now they're doing the exact same job. They've done it as an airman. Now they have the authority and responsibility of making it better for everybody else. And so they're usually a little bit more relaxed. As a second lieutenant, you're going to have to write performance reports. You're going to have to do some admin stuff that it's not that you're not ready for. You just never done it. But your counterpart, who was a staff sergeant, they've done it. They're no pro. So find those guys and gals and use them. But I haven't seen any better. But if I had to pick one, it'd be OTS from prior enlisted.
So my take is that undoubtedly you come into the military knowing more about the details of the military from the academy than you would from OTS. So you know more, but really what matters is how much you care. How much you care about service, how much you care for the airmen and families around you. And the ones that care the most, they'll figure out what they need to learn.
It's true.
But really, you can't fake the genuine concern. And so all the commissioning sources, it's based on the raw material you get, but as long as it's about the core values, and it's about the mission, then you get great officers.
It's true. And yeah, you can't go wrong with caring. Trying to figure out, okay, I'm about to do this thing. How are my airmen going to feel about it? What are they going to think about it? How is it going to affect them day to day? If you think about all those things, you still might make the exact same decision, but at least you make it knowing that it may hurt them in some way in the sense that they lose sleep or they have to sacrifice something. But you're making it because you have to. You're not just going, you know what, forget them. That's what they get. They're in the military.
I'm not going to survive another one.
Come on, Chief.
one?
I'm out of drink. This is the atomic.
Yeah.
I'm out of
You want
drink.
No.
No, you good? All right, I'm in too.
If I had another one.
You sure?
No.
Okay.
If I had another one, that would.
We got a knife there. I can split it
We
with you.
got some other flavors over there. You want to go back?
No, I'm saying if I had another one of those, that'd be the end.
Okay.
Yeah, Tom.
Yeah. That one kind of hit me hard.
So, real quick before we go. So, in previous commander's call.
Are you looking to go?
He's wrapping it up.
No, because we're already done with our last wing. So
All right, no, good. This is all like the dessert right now.
Yeah. So, in previous commander's call, you mentioned 2 other restaurants on base, and you're based on that one,
Yep.
Rickenbacker's and Salad Works.
Yep. So probably Rickenbacker's, which is an Air Force chain, will open up in the Commons in March,
Okay.
and then Salad Works in May.
Okay. And where will Salad be?
Also up in the Commons.
Okay.
So by the Panda Express up there, we'll open up Rickenbacker's. We'll open up a cool Airman's Lounge up there as another place to build community.
Yeah.
And we'll open up Salad Works. And to Chief and I, it's a little bit about the quality of life of having more restaurants on base. We need them, especially during the workday. But really, it's about building community and finding ways to bring airmen and families together, to have a good time together, and to make those connections that you need. And that's what this is all about. And just to see the number of people that came out here today was pretty exciting.
And by the way, you're not seeing any. I see there's one guy here by himself, and I bet money he's picking up food for his family and going home. Everybody else is here with a coworker, a friend. This podcast, but they're hanging out, and so we wanted something. This is why we got local breweries bringing in beer here soon. We've got every sports channel you can think of, because we want people on Saturday and Sunday to come up here on an evening, March Madness, to hang out here, have some wings, have some beer, and really just hang out with each other. I don't care where they do it. Just hang out. And so we're trying to build as many places as possible for people to hang out. Internet going into the dorms in a couple weeks, so people can hang out. Might be hanging out online, might be hanging out with people they know from another base, but we want to make sure that they have that access, because we're kind of remote. And if you show up without the right cell phone coverage, you might have a couple days without talking to people. So we want to make sure, at least, same thing with the scooters, that doesn't happen. For at least a few days, you'll have free internet, you'll be able to jump in. Might not be able to play Xbox Live all day, especially in the evening when everybody comes home. But you'll be able to send messages and emails and still connect with people.
The
So
bowling
everything we're
alley.
doing-
So the bowling alley is going through a refurb. We're putting an indoor playground in there. So now another place for families to go. We're going to put in a big Sunday bar there too. So now you can go there, you can bowl, got kids playground, you've got good food, and you've got, root beer floats and hot fudge sundaes. They're going to try to put a soft serve place in here to
No,
make
you didn't
it
mean
another...
drinking bear on Sunday.
What's that?
You said Sunday bar.
For a second,
Sunday,
I thought
different
that.
Sunday. All right. I
Ice
mean,
cream
they got
Sunday.
beer there too, Chief. But
We do.
yeah,
James.
hot fudge Sunday,
James.
banana splits.
So do you think the club is gonna have a competition with the Wingstop now open?
So
There's a little bit of competition, but frankly, that the club is way up there on the other side of base where the houses are, right?
Yeah.
How often have you been to the club?
Only when there's an event.
Okay,
go.
but it's
Yeah.
way up there, right?
Yeah.
And so part of it is if we get transportation, it makes it easier to get around.
Yeah.
A little bit of competition, but they've all done the market research. We've done it with them, and this base can support the new restaurants.
well, and it's different. How many times are you going to come here for a burger?
Oh, not.
Done. How many gonna? If you want a burger and someone else wants a wrap and somebody else wants wings, you're gonna go to the club. Now at some point they may look and go, we're not selling any more wings at all, and so they might not have those on the menu. But everything else is still going to continue, and they'll wait 4 or 5 months to figure out if that's a necessity. But yeah,
By the
this
way,
is a
our
different
club is
restaurant.
awesome, right? So if you
Yeah.
want to go up there, they've got a great menu.
Yeah.
They've got a pool in the back, especially good for kids. They've got movie nights during the summertime. They've got a skating rink up there now during the wintertime, a plastic skating rink. They got skates that they'll give you on Fridays, and there's just a lot of activity going up there. And we just want to find different ways to build community and support our members.
I think the last time I've been to the club was a UFC fight night that they had.
Yeah.
All right on. All right.
Yeah, and I think they had one last weekend, but I wasn't able to go. So perhaps Wingstop could host that, or probably
yeah.
switch
Well,
back
maybe
and
you're up
forth.
there, and they've got NFL games. They show up there on Sundays. They open up. We've got NFL ticket here.
So all the standard ones, they'll show that. If it's a pay-per-view,
Yeah,
we'll have to
that-
talk to them and see, and it'll probably be how many airmen are we going to get in? And they'll try it a few times. So the owner, he's willing to try whatever. And so if it works and brings people in, he'll do it. But you can't do it every time if no one's going to come and watch because you're paying money for that. But all the ones on any other fight channel, ESPN, anything else, those will be here along with every other game, everything else going on. So this will be good.
Yeah, because I know Chief Thompson, he's also a UFC fan.
Oh, he's a big fan.
there
He's
you
a
go.
big fan. Yeah, every time I go to a UFC fight night at the club, he was there.
Right.
He's always
He says every time he goes, you're there.
So you got a whole meal room.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey,
don't-
Chief,
I
I
don't
ate
need
all
a
of
lot
mine,
all
plus
at
some
once.
doubles up. You too. Good job, LT.
Well, I still got to order more to go.
All right.
I got to feed the family.
My family came here for a late lunch.
You guys got anything else? Any questions?
Yeah, I mean, I got one. One of our MTIs at OTS used to always ask us this question: what's your why? Why do you come to work every day?
Order for Sean.
What's the big reason?
Support and defend the Constitution of the United States, and be able to impact people. All right. What a great noble way to live life, which is to live a life of purpose, and that is to support our nation and those principles that are embodied in our Constitution, and that come make an impact every single day on others. Because the only reason Chief and I are anything is because people invested in us, and now we owe it to the people around us to invest in them. And who knows what you all will go on to do 10, 15, 20 years from now. And we may know because you'll keep in touch, maybe we won't, but you'll carry a little bit of us with you, and we hope that little bit is something really good. That's it. Chief, how about you?
I guess mine's similar. It's nowhere near as eloquent as the bosses, but I can tell you, awesome mission. I mean, it's support and defend the Constitution, but the mission is awesome. So going out, and whether it's here, whether it was at Kadena, at Ramstein, every base I've been to, awesome mission and awesome people. And then in this position especially, and really every time I've made rank or been able and been lucky enough to move into a new position, I've been able to affect and help more people. So by the time if an airman comes to me with a problem, it's a big problem. Because they probably already tried it themselves, and they weren't able to. They went to an NCO, they couldn't. They went to a senior NCO, they went to a group, maybe a squadron chief, and none of them could solve it for whatever reason. And so if it comes to me, I can either solve it, or I can get to the general and he can solve it, or if neither of us can, now all of a sudden that airman has me as a teammate and we can go up and solve that problem together with the next level up, the next level, whatever level we need to. And so every day, that's almost all I do, is people come and need help with things, whether that's mission related, their family needs help, something on the base needs help, hey, we need more food options because there's nothing to eat late at night. This Wingstop's helping solve that. And so we get to solve all the big problems, the ones that are really affecting people. And then every once in a while, it's just a small one. It's an easy one, but it was an easy one for us. It was a phone call, but it was huge for that airman. We have have airmen here who haven't been paid, maybe, and this hasn't happened lately, but I've had an airman before who was not paid in 3 months. And it took 3 months for them to finally come tell us. We didn't know. And as soon as we found out, we got them taken care of immediately. But they were trying to be awesome and take care of themselves, and I give them all the credit in the world for trying. But at some point, you have to say, you know what, this is a big problem. My family needs food. They shouldn't be handling that stress on their own. And we can fix that really quickly. But they were trying to live with that problem. And so by the time it came to me, we got to fix it with some help from some great finance people. But that let a huge load off of them. And so when you get to do that stuff, that's just that's addicting. You know, helping them with that every day. What about you guys?
Yeah, what's your why, LP?
Well, the airmen I'm with, you know.
Okay.
My big thing is, you know, wanting to come in and leaving the world better than how you came in.
Okay.
Leaving the world a better place.
All right.
And I think the Air Force is the best way for me to do it. You know, I always felt I was always destined for something great. And I think the Air Force is my way to do that.
I like it. Airman Gonzalez.
My way is education,
Okay.
or why, pardon me. And I mean, education as far as getting my bachelor's, but also getting into 16s was really good. Like how I kind of got into it was really great because of all the different types that are here. So first, my first why was just the whole, I want to go to school and get it paid for. And then actually coming in, I'm just like, oh wow, I get on an F-16 and there's a lot of them. And then I come here and there's a lot of different types of F-16. So the more I kind of dig into my job and my AFSC, the more I'm getting the opportunity to learn more things. And that's basically what I'm about.
That's awesome.
All right, what's your why?
So the biggest thing that I got from you guys was supporting the family. But for me, it's really the support part as part of the Force Support Squad.
Yep.
So Miss Holland, our previous director, and Chief Comer would say, without support, mission abort. So I think that emphasizes a lot, that shows a lot from us. So for me as a job as a personnelist, how will that pilot go do his job if I don't help him? So that's the big thing for me. So it hadn't hit me until I actually learned my job. So like what I do and what I do for the mission. So that really inspires me to go every day and help everyone out on the base.
Aaron Esmala, that's an awesome answer. And you know, all of us play a role in what we do at Edwards, right? What we do is mold and shape America's arsenal. That's pretty cool, right? As we do that for the warfighter here at the Center of the Aerospace Testing Universe. But everyone, whether you're in the MPF or whether you're in the F-16 AMU or wherever you are out there on the base, you're playing a role in getting that job done. And I hope everybody understands that, because what we do here is super cool. And to play a part wherever you are is pretty special. Chief, we own those wings.
That was good. They need to make them hotter.
One
It wasn't
drink
hot
for
enough.
everybody, right? No one passed
Yeah.
out.
Nobody's crying yet.
Yeah.
No tears, no
You guys are solid. Can I just say that? You guys
They
are
faked
solid.
it really well.
Hey, what are you guys doing for the holidays?
So
What are you doing?
I'll be here, and I'm looking forward to you guys being in the chow hall serving us again, because I know you guys did that for Thanksgiving.
You got to listen to a whole lot of dad Christmas jokes.
Yes. Yeah, and yeah, the food is a lot better during that time of the year. And
I think their stuffing at the DFAC is
That's
awesome.
all he talks about.
Yeah, gravy on their stuffing. I don't like stuffing anywhere else, but I think the stuffing at the DFAC is pretty good.
I'll see that. I haven't had it. I wasn't there for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But I was there last year, man. But I'll be here for Christmas this year.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. What are you doing? I caught you
Got
mid-bite.
you.
Sorry. Lieutenant
I'm gonna be
Gonzalez.
house hunting.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So you're living in TLF right now, or
Yes,
you're living
sir.
in the VOQ?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, VOQ.
Okay. Where are you trying to live? Cal City, Rosemont, Lancaster,
Lancaster.
Palmdale? Okay.
I already found some spots, so hopefully I get there pretty quick.
There's some roommates around. You trying to find a
Yeah,
roommate or
I've
trying to
been
go
living
solo?
with people on my life. I
get
wanna
it.
see how
all right.
I live by myself. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Try to be a grown-up.
There you go.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. live
All right.
by yourself.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna be visiting family, Tucson.
Okay. Tucson. Right on. So that's where you grew up?
It's where I was born. I grew up in Illinois.
Okay.
And I've also lived in Nevada.
Okay.
So,
But you got family down there in Tucson
yes.
now. Chief, what are you doing?
Taking the wife. I was here for Thanksgiving, so I'm taking the wife and kids. We're going to fly home and go see my parents and my wife's parents, and let the kids hang out with their cousins and grandparents, and do the whole Christmas thing there. And then I'll come back and hang out for New Year's with the base.
Awesome.
What about you, sir?
Good. So I'm around, maybe some day trips to LA with my family. But we love getting out and giving gifts to some airmen on post. We're going to do that a lot on Christmas Eve. go to some of those hard to find places up at the Rocket Lab, down at Plant 42, and just say hi to some of our airmen that are working on post on the holidays.
Order for John.
I appreciate you guys coming out short notice to eat free wings and sacrificing for the good of the base. And then, yeah, we'll do hotter ones next time.
You guys are going to be internet stars now, right? How cool is
Right
that?
here.
No, you guys killed it. It was our joy to spend some time with you, and thanks for making this special for us.
Thank you for having us.
You got it. All right, thanks, guys. See ya. Thanks.